Okay, so the next thing I want to do before I start piling stuff on top of this is I want to pay attention to my edges. You're going to see your edges when they're hanging on a wall, and I don't want to leave this surface unloved. So I'm going to grab I think this is by Tim Holtz, Stampers Anonymous. It kind of came with some butterflies and some other stuff. I don't know the name of it, I'm sorry. But there it is, see? And I'm pretty sure it's a Stampers Anonymous with Tim Holtz. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try using some brown ink. I don't want to use black because I really don't have much other black on here. And what I'm using is Memento ink in Rich Cocoa. And this, once it dries, isn't really going to be affected by any moisture. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm just going to go ahead and add some ink to my stamp. Alright, let's see if this works. Yay! And I'm going to go around all of my edges. Okay, so after I stamped all of my edges, I then just hit it quickly with my heat gun to set it because I'm going to be handling the canvas and I didn't want to, smudge everything. I mentioned in the beginning of all of this that I wanted to hang this up on my wall, and I wanted to hang it up along with the canvas that we got from a kit a few months ago, part of our tech kit. And it's part of Tim Holt's market thing. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. But I want to hang them up together since they look as though they could be a matching set. But also what I want to do is I really want to make them look like they're a part of a matching set. I want them to have similar elements. I'm not looking to dress up this other canvas too much, but I do want them to look like they belong together. So I'm grabbing this Crafter's Workshop template. And again, this came in another kit like a year ago. And you can tell it's been loved. You can see all the lovely colors on there. But what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to set my two canvases probably similar to how I would hang them on the wall. And I'm going to apply my template over both. And then, when I'm happy with where everything is, I'm going to start using my molding paste on this and create the template across both. And this is where things could get a little bit tricky, because normally what I suggest to people when you're using a large template like this is that you tape them down so that they don't lift up and you don't end up with molding paste underneath. But in this case, it's just really not going to work too well. So I'm just going to go ahead and wing it and hold everything down and go slowly. Alright, so I'm just going to fast forward through this. Okay, so when you weren't looking, I did a few things. The molding paste dried, and I grabbed some magical micas that we got on a special order from Chrissy. And I just went over a few of the birds and the leaves on this canvas as well as the other one. And then I went over this one just in a few different spots with some of the Decadence Mist. and just kind of, not made it so bright. With the other canvas, I also did the Decadence as well as the Apricot Nectar to try and pick up some of the peach tones that I've got in my flowers. The other thing that I went ahead and did was when we cut the burlap paper in the back, we cut it to 11.5 inches square, which left us with these 2 strips that were a 1/2 inch. And I just never get rid of this stuff because this is perfect to make little scrunchy kind of lace and borders with, use on cards. And I went ahead and scrunched it all up and then misted it with Apricot Nectar and scrunched it up again. I'm going to use this to border the bottom of my photo. The other thing that I did was printed out a few butterflies, 3 to be exact, and I covered these in clear UD, ultra thick embossing enamel. What I like about UD versus clear embossing powder is that it really is thick and it gives you, well, like an enamel kind of finish to it, and it's still pliable, it's still bendable, and I only did 1 coat. I didn't do 3. You normally do 3 coats when you're looking to get the cracked glass effect. So I did those, and then what I did was I took a piece of Dusty Attic that we got on special order from Chrissy because she loves us, and I went ahead and misted this all in Decadence mist. Again, I'm just keeping it really consistent. And then I used some of Lindy's Queen Sheba Silver embossing powder, sorry. And if you've used this embossing powder, you know that it goes on like butter. And it's iridescent, so it's much more appreciated in person than it is in photographs. But I went ahead and got that ready. I also cut a piece of burlap that came in the main kit, and I cut it pretty much, I just eyeballed it, and then went and pulled off some of the pieces so I had my frayed edges. And that's what I've got done so far. All right, coming up next. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and start putting this together. And one of the things that I did was the piece of burlap that I cut to fit my photo is I just went on the inside. I didn't do the outside edges. I just went on the inside with some Mod Podge, stuck it down, and then I took my Dusty Attic and using some glossy accents went ahead and glued that down. I did add a mat. It's not really a mat because I haven't gone over the edges, but I cut a piece of cardstock to give my photo a little bit more stability. And I did cut it just a little bit longer than my photo, so it's essentially 6 by I think 4 1/4, so that I had something to adhere my homemade ruffle to. And then I added some pop dots because it is going to be layered over the top of things. I don't want my photo to be bent, so I added some pop dots just to give it that layered look and to give it some stability so that it doesn't end up flopping and doing all sorts of things. So I'm going to go ahead now and start to put my page together, and I'll somewhat fast forward through this for you. page on a canvas, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope the video came through okay. And yeah, if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Thanks for watching.